Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Gebo the Shaman, and today we are talking about what happens when we have the sun placed in Aquarius in the 11th house for Aries Ascendant. So, if you'd like to purchase a Vedic Astrology reading from me, then you can go to my website, gebotheshaman.com. That's Gebo, the shaman, SHAMAN.com. And I have a list of a bunch of services there. You can see some of those up here. And I have courses, services, astrology courses, and a bunch of things. So if you want to go ahead and check those out, please do, because that really helps support the channel. Anytime a purchase is made, really helps me pay my bills and support the channel and all that good stuff. So much appreciated. Alright, now Sun in the 11th house in Aquarius for Aries Ascendant. Alright, so with this placement, we have, a bunch of factors. We have the Sun, we have what Aquarius is about, we have the 11th house. So a bunch of factors there, a bunch to dissect and analyze. So let's just start with the basics. What is the sun? What does that pertain to? What is the meaning of that? So the sun is the father, your father. It is government, royalty, leadership, authority. It is the soul, the creative expression, and things like that. Next, what is Aquarius? Aquarius is the water bear. It is the man with the water who is feeding and nourishing the people. And Aquarius has to do with resources. It has to do with like income. It has to do with income. It has to do with like monetary resources and like even humanitarian resources. So 11th house is really about resources, whether that's money, whether that's food, water, anything like that. So resources. Now 11th house is about friends, network circles, humanitarianism, again, resources, income, your gains, and yeah, it's it's about those kinds of things. Humanitarianism, philanthropy, friends, network circles, things like that, resources. And you notice how those things are tied together, and also income. Resources and friends, those are tied together. Why? Because when you have friends, you have resources. And so, that's just the truth. You have more people to turn to for help, like like a community, a village. In the olden days, like when people had villages, they had people who could help them. They had resources. Even if they, nowadays we're taught to work for them, but like in the olden days, they would forage, they would hunt, they would do different things to have those, and different people had different resources. So, 11th house, house of gains. And so whenever we're looking at somebody's charts, we see, like for Aries, we have the first sign in the first house. So Aries in the first house, Aries in the Ascendant. So with Aquarius, well, Aquarius is in the 11th house. So those energies are the same or similar, very similar. And so we don't need to like break it up into those, into two analysis of the sign of the house. So, because they're pretty much the same energy. So, Sun in Aquarius. With Sun in Aquarius, you'll find that, well, first of all, your Sun is aspecting the 5th house, which bears children. So, 5th house is all about children. Sun is also about children. So you will probably have some children of some kind. You'll have to, look at Jupiter, of course. If Jupiter is well placed or well aspected, then you're going to have some kids. Another thing with the Sun in the 5th, in the 11th house is that this position really shows leadership of organizations, like nonprofit organizations, humanitarian organizations, things like that. So you will be in charge of resources. You might be even in charge of human resources for your job. Resources and providing those to, to underprivileged people, to your workers, to different people like that. So Sun in the 11th house really shows a leader of humanitarian organizations, even friends groups. Like, you'll be seen as the leader of your friends group and networks. So you'll be seen as the leader in your networks. And so, of course, this placement, wherever the Sun is placed, you'll have a little bit of scorching, a little bit of singeing. So it'll feel like the house that the Sun is in is burnt up. There's something that's like irritated or inflamed about it. So you might be one of those people who's like an extroverted introvert, where you like being around other people, but too much of that can irritate you, or things like that. You could also be challenged by your friends groups, like your ego could be challenged by them. You could get hurt when they, challenge your authority, your leadership, your expertise, things like that. And so it's just a place of like, overall the Sun, they say that the Sun is a malefic planet because it's hot, it's fiery, it singes things around it. And yeah. So let's see here. 11th house. Another thing is, like, with money here, it could feel like you're underpaid, or you're, or you're just burning money. Like, a lot of people have problems with like keeping their money. So Sun in the 11th, like, you could feel like you're burning money. Like you're getting, no matter how much you get paid, even if it's millions of dollars, you're still going to have that expense, the loss, the expenses that, that drain that. And so with that, it's becomes challenging to save money. And more so in the 12th house. More so in the 12th house. Sun in the 12th house, that tends to, yeah. And then, of course, we have Aries, which taints everything. So, wherever you're, whatever you have going on in an Aries chart, just know that Aries kind of taints that, and it's not in a bad way. I don't necessarily mean it in a bad way. It's just that everything is seen through the eyes of Aries, through the lens of Aries. So even like friendship and network circles and networking and being, helping people in an organization, you have that ego there. You still have that ego there, and you might want to do things just to seem like a nice person instead of actually wanting to help people. Which is a challenge, It's like you might want to be seen as like just a kind person or a good person, but meanwhile you're cutting everyone else around you down. Talking bad about them, being narcissistic, things like that, in order to boost your own like ego and confidence. Things like that. So, it is an interesting dynamic here, for sure. And so with this placement, with Aries looking at it, it's like you might see your friends as your enemies. You might have a like competitive relationship with them. Your ego might be so damaged that you want to be seen as better than them. And you might even like compete in sports or something like that with them and try to beat them and all that stuff. So brings a lot of competition, competitive energy, masculine energy, like competing for top position, things like that, instead of just chilling, relaxing, and enjoying your friendship. That's kind of the negative side of Aries. Positive side of Aries is like you could do things with your friends, like be very active with your friends, participate in sports and, skydiving, extreme sports, and all kinds of like fun activities, as long as you treat your friends as friends and not competition, or maybe even have like friendly competition rather than an ego-driven like competition to prove that you're better than them. So yeah, that's some stuff that might occur with this position. And again, as I have to say with every position and in every video and every reading and everything like that, this can all change with different planetary placements in your chart. When I do an analysis of Sun in Aquarius in the 11th house, it can be altered by other planetary placements, by other planetary aspects, conjunctions, oppositions, other planetary aspects like that. So yeah, a lot of things going into this. So don't get offended, just like letting you guys know so you can be more aware of this stuff. All right. All right, so That's it for me. So if you want a astrology reading from me, then you can go to my website, gabodeshaman.com. And if you want to participate in my Vedic Astrology certification course, if you want to become a certified Vedic astrologer, then you can go to my website, gabodeshaman.com, and check that out. Again, I have courses, services, products, all kinds of stuff, so you can go over here and check all this stuff out. That's why I have it here. Even my 12-step recovery program from codependency and all that good stuff. So, yeah. Alright, guys, so I am done. That's the end of this video, and we will talk to you next time. Peace.